As dancers, we're very aware of our bodies, perhaps more so than other people. We're used to working with emotions, sensations, and feelings, and we have an intimate understanding of the relationships between them. Some of that understanding we gain through practice in the studio, so in technique, in choreography, in improvisation. And we have ways of describing our experience, whether that's an intention behind a movement, or the sensations we notice as we move. Those sensations are thought of as kinesthetic. However, dancers have a tendency to think that thinking itself has more to do with the world of written and verbal forms, which language gives, a world that's about ideas and concepts. The experience of emotion, feeling of sensing, we tend to think is something different from the experience of thinking. But that's not the case. The many various aspects of experience, our sensing, our feeling, our moving selves, are all operating together and working together. So whether that's sensing through feeling, sensing through thinking, or thinking through moving, all of these things are working together and have a relationship. We are, of course, more aware of some than others. What we lack are the means to try and explain all of this, but a psychologist might help provide insight.
It is true, even when we're reacting in the moment, making movement in a close immediate relationship with the sensations from our body, we are engaging other processes at the same time. The way we perceive bodily sensations is different to the way we perceive the visual and acoustic world. Instead of identifying objects and patterns and recognizing their meaning, we directly perceive the meaning of sensations. The sharp prick of a pin means pain, a sweet smell is delicious, the recognition of the pin or the naming of the smell is secondary and may not even be possible. Sensation is very difficult to put into words because it's an abstract and high-level form of meaning. How exactly does a pin prick feel? What does a rose smell like? We know, but it is hard to say. Our spoken thoughts are several steps in our minds away from our feelings, but our feelings and our bodies are in direct connection. This does not mean that when we move, we do so without conscious thought or control. Uncontrolled movement would not be dance after all. It's just that the relationship between our thoughts and our movements is not something that's easy to put into words. It's easier to do than to explain. This is because there are two ways in which we can understand meaning. There is the verbally expressible sort of fact, like I'm standing on tiptoes, or my arm is raised, slightly bent. And then there are the implied, harder to convey meanings that come with the context. Are you on tiptoes because you're reaching something up high, or because you're trying to walk quietly? Is your arm raised because you want to attract attention, or are you fending something away? The real meaning of the movement is more than the movement itself. Higher level meanings exist for all forms of thought. When we read something, the higher meaning is called the gist, and this is what we remember rather than the exact words. When we hear a poem or a song for the first time, we experience feelings and emotions, and later may recall these feelings more than the exact words or notes. One way that has been used to describe these two levels of meaning is as hot thought and cold thought. Cold thoughts are conventional knowledge, facts, identities and descriptions. Hot thought includes feelings and emotion, the real meanings of cold thoughts. Another way to think of them is between the fast, immediate thoughts we get whenever we perceive something and the slow, considered thoughts that come later. The fast thoughts are the hot, emotional thoughts, the slow thoughts are the cold, factual or logical ones. In the following exercises, we will explore the relationship between these two levels of meanings, hot and cold, fast and slow, to explore the link between mind and movement.